These are the stories we're tracking this hour. The crisis in the Rivers State People's Democratic Party has taken a new dimension, and it has claimed its first casualty with the suspension of the state governor, Chibuike Amechi, from the party. The PDP's National Working Committee announced the suspension of Governor Amechi after an emergency meeting in Abuja for violating Articles 58 1B, C, H and M of the party's constitution.
In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Olisametu, the emergency meeting was convened owing to a petition submitted by the PDP River State Executive Committee against Mr. Amechi. And as a tussle over the leadership of the Nigeria Governors Forum rages, Governor General Jang of Plateau State has called on his River State counterpart, Mr. Chibuike Amechi, to join hands with him in moving the forum forward. The Plateau State Governor, he said this at the Yakubu Gowon Airport in Jos on arrival from Abuja, where he told journalists that the governors have given him the mandate to unite and reposition the forum with the right leadership that will benefit Nigerians.
Well, meanwhile, the governors of Lagos and Delta State have also been reacting to the recent happenings within the Nigeria Governors Forum and the People's Democratic Party. Now, while Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan is suing for peace within the forum, Governor Fashola notes that the suspension of the River State governor is a party issue.
Well, that would be a problem for his party to solve. If his party has suspended him, they will solve that out within the party. I'm not a member of the PDP.
What is happening in the NGF right now is very unfortunate. As some of us predicted it, that if we go into an election, the NGF might break up, and that is why we try to work towards a consensus. But what I will appeal is that people should cool down their temper. The tempers are too high, and they are making comments that are very inciting. People should cool down their temper, stop making inciting comments. Instead, there should be a reconciliatory move by the players, both within the NGF and outside the NGF, because whatever is happening in the NGF today has a lot of input from outside.
The High Court sitting in Awka, the Anambra State capital, has dismissed the petition brought by one Mr. Mark Onwudinjo challenging the outcome of the April 8th National Convention of the All Progressives Grand Alliance held in Awka. In the petition, Mr. Onwudinjo prayed the court to withhold the winner, Mr. Magziopu, from parading himself as the national chairman of the party on the grounds that he was deceived by the National Planning Committee of the party by shifting the earlier scheduled venue of the convention from Enugu to Awka. Delivering the judgment on Monday, Justice Hope Ogugwo Ozo dismissed the petition on the grounds that it lacks merit and substance. Neither the plaintiff nor his representative was in court. Reacting to the judgment, counsel to the defendant, Chudi Obieze, said the plaintiff's prayer to the court to nullify the April 8th National Convention of the party was actually baseless.
Well, the plaintiff's case was dismissed and the counterclaim was granted. One Mr. Onwudinjo, who claimed to have been shortchanged in the convention that took place, went to court asking the court to nullify the convention. So the court dismissed his case. The ground that what he said is not correct. The convention was monitored by INEC. It was conducted in compliance with the party constitution.
Well, unless Nigerians become dedicated and committed to the cause of nation building, the country may not experience the desired speedy growth and development. But this is coming from the Vice President, Nnamdi Sambu, who has restated the federal government's commitment to develop the nation, but asked for the support of all Nigerians. The Vice President says this at a gathering in honor of a former Minister of Information and elder statesman, Edwin Clark, who also asked politicians to shun corruption and avoid pilfering government funds.
When you hold office, do not think that tomorrow you will be living there for still all the money in Nigeria, but the day you will go, you will be disgraced out. And at the end of your life, you take nothing with you. I'm 86 now. If I'm going, my wife will not go with me. My children will not go with me. So let us not heed the politics of this country. Nigeria belongs to all of us.
We must all lead a life of hard work, devotion, honesty, sincerity, love for mankind, and above all, fear of the Lord.
The Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Chris Kuta, says the Canadian government will partner with the Edo State government in vocational training. The Canadian High Commissioner stated this at an interactive session with newsmen at the Office of the Executive Director of Africa Network for Environment and Economic Justice, Reverend David Ogulo, in Benin City. He said the Canadian government will extend this partnership to the entire country based on its discovery that unemployment is not the problem in Nigeria, but the skills to get the employment.
7%, but people aren't getting the money from that growth because no one has the skills, and very few people have the skills that allow them to take advantage of the opportunities. So that message, which I first heard here, in fact, 2 years ago, we've been pursuing that for 2 years. I wish I had made a bit faster progress, but in a few days' time, your Employers Association, NECA, will be in Canada, along with the ITF, which is looking at vocational training, and we're very hopeful that we'll have a large project here to establish a model for vocational training. There's nothing wrong with other education. You need to go through primary, secondary school, university, but the critical need in Nigeria, and I've read this in every part of the country, and you're not alone in this, we have this problem in Canada too, and many other countries around the world. The critical problem is getting the skills for youth to match the demand, not just any skills. You can't just go to a college and say, I'd like to be a carpenter, and then you finish your course, you get your certificate, and you find all the jobs are gone. Well, that's because it didn't start with the employment.
When we come back after the break on News Chat, members of Ogidi, the community where the late Professor Chinua Achebe was from, want their son to be immortalized. And energy experts advocate the use of cleaner, greener energy. Do join us again.
Investigating, exposing, uncovering, reporting, hard-hitting interviews. Sunrise Daily. Only on Channels Television.
Welcome back to News Track. If you missed out on any of our top stories or programs, you can go to our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb to catch up.
If you're on the go, just visit us at m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone or BlackBerry. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 devices from their respective stores. African women are capable of transforming the continent if they are given more cultural and social recognition. Mrs. Obaigili Ezekwesili said this while giving the keynote address at a women's forum in Lagos. The former education minister said any nation which aims at accelerating and sustaining its economic growth must improve the productive capabilities of its female population. Other participants who spoke at the forum urged governments and private investors to assist women in their bid to develop Africa's economies.
Well, as activities marking the funeral ceremony of the late literary icon Professor Chinua Achebe end, the people of Ogidi, Achebe's hometown, have been speaking on how they want their son to be immortalized. They asked the state government to rename the Anambra State University after Professor Achebe, as well as establish a doctoral degree awarding research institute in Ogidi in his memory as well. In his response, the state governor, Peter Obi, maintains that the first step in giving the late professor a befitting burial had been undertaken and that the rest will follow in due course.
At St. Philip's Anglican Church, Ogidi, the family, relatives and friends of Professor Chinua Achebe, including the Anambra State Governor, Mr. Peter Obi, gathered to pray for the peaceful repose of the soul of the departed writer. Though the Ogidi people appreciated President Jonathan's pronouncement of erecting a befitting school building